What happens when the man who owns half the skyline realizes the only view that matters is three small faces across the room? Christopher Langford's life ran on precision, dinners that began at 8, contracts that closed by 10, and a phone that never slept. That night, precision failed him. The maitre d' led his board to a long table by the window. Crystal chimed, laughter performed on cue. And then Chris saw her, Jasmine, 3 tables away, head tilted as if still listening for the truth beneath other people's words. Her hair was shorter, her smile wasn't. Before he saw the children, he heard them. A quick silver giggle, a question asked twice because the first answer wasn't good enough. 3 of them, maybe 5 years old, 2 girls, 1 boy, leaning into Jasmine like the planets they were, with their mother as the gravity. The boy glanced toward Chris, and in that instant the room narrowed. Same irises, same stubborn set to the brow. The nearest chandelier blurred. "You were saying the fund is overexposed?" A director prompted. I, excuse me. Chris was up before his chair stopped skidding. He reached Jasmine's table with a pulse he could feel in his teeth. Jasmine. He didn't recognize his own voice. She looked up, measured him, set down her water. Christopher. The children studied him openly. One of the girls tilted her head, exactly the way he did when choosing between 2 bad deals and the quieter truth. Are they? The word died in his throat. They're mine, Jasmine said, gentle but guarded. And their names are Maya, Sophie, and Leo. He swallowed. Did you try to tell me? I did, she said, not unkindly. Your gatekeepers did exactly what you paid them to do. Keep me out. I took the hint. The boy, Leo, scrutinized Chris's tie. Do you wear that every day? Almost, Chris admitted, wrecked by the ordinariness of the question. Maya, the head tilter, pointed to the dessert menu. We're deciding together. Mommy says families vote. Good policy, he managed. Jasmine slid a business card across the linen. Not for us, she said quickly, as if saving them both. For them. If you are serious, if you know the difference between wanting and staying. His board pretended not to stare as he returned. Words from a decade ago battered the present. Ambition first, love later. Later had arrived without asking permission, wearing 3 small faces and 1,000 unasked questions. He didn't open contracts that night. He opened the past. At 6 a.m. he faced Barbara, the assistant who had never lied to him because she never had to. 5 years ago, he said, did Jasmine try to reach me? Barbara's eyes flinched. Yes, repeatedly. Your former EA, filtered. Get me the messages, he said, then shook his head. No, never mind. It doesn't change the thing that matters. By noon, he was in a modest office above a bakery that smelled like warm cinnamon. Jasmine's name was on frosted glass. She didn't make him wait. He didn't offer excuses. He asked for the only thing he had no leverage to demand. A chance, he said, not to rewrite the past, to earn a place in the next page. Her reply was a test and a mercy. Saturday, the park by the creek. If you're late, don't come. He was early and terrified. Rain threatened, a soft gray held back by stubborn sunlight. Jasmine arrived with 3 raincoats, violet, canary, ocean, and 3 people who didn't yet know they were the center of a man's new universe. This is Christopher, Jasmine told them. He's your dad. Sophie's hand tightened inside her sleeve. Leo's eyes went wider. Maya folded her arms, skeptical and brave. Chris knelt so his tie matched their height. I'm sorry I wasn't here, he said. I thought building big things meant being a big man. I was wrong. If you let me, I want to learn you. All of you. Maya blinked slowly, as if weighing shares, and then delivered the first term sheet. We vote on snacks, no raisins and cookies. And you can't say you'll come and not come. That's a rule. Seconded, Sophie whispered. Leo, still assessing, tugged Chris's sleeve. Can you push the swing high, but not too high? I can learn exactly right, Chris said, surprised by how easy the swing's rhythm made breathing. They were interrupted by an old ghost in a new suit. Eleanor Langford, boardroom legend, Chris's mother, arrived with edges sharp enough to cut rain. So it's true, she said, gaze sweeping the playground like an appraisal. We will manage this properly. No, Chris replied, standing, body interposed without thought. We will love this properly. What about the company? Eleanor hissed. Optics, exposure. New optics, and he said, me at a park. The vote on snacks went unanimously for chocolate chip. The vote on lawyers was tabled. By evening, Chris had learned 3 facts. Sophie collected Starlight trivia, Maya negotiated bedtimes like a seasoned attorney, and Leo believed thunder was just clouds clapping. He also learned his calendar could be broken and rebuilt. Meetings moved, dinners canceled. One Thursday, he was 20 minutes late to an investor call because Sophie's class launched paper rockets, and she wanted him to see the one that flew like a comet with a day job. Barbara didn't blink. Your 10 a.m. is now 10 never, she said dryly, sliding a new schedule across the desk. Also, you asked what 5-year-olds like. The answer appears to be stickers, puddles, and a father who stays. That weekend, he bought a house with a yard and a guest cottage, drew plans for separate spaces. Hers, his, theirs. He learned inhaler rhythms, the patience of puzzles, the hum of a nebulizer timed to watercolor strokes. He labeled drawers, EpiPen here, art smocks there, and planted sunflowers along a fence because Maya said sunflowers turn their faces to where the warm is, and he wanted their path to know the way. The board, unsurprisingly, revolted. We need you back full-time, the chair intoned. Family is admirable. Fiduciary duty is non-negotiable. Chris glanced at the photo on his desk, 3 raincoats and a swing set. My duty is to the future, he said, which, as it turns out, is shaped like 3 small hands. He delegated. He endured headlines. He stopped performing success and started living it. And just when the new quiet began to feel like a language he could speak, the storm finally came. It started with a cough that wasn't ordinary. Maya's shoulders hitched. The inhaler bought minutes, not relief. Jasmine's text detonated in Chris's chest. ER now. He was halfway to St. Mercy before the light turned green. Hospital light is a different color. Too clean, too honest. Maya looked small under it, a brave astronaut tethered by clear tubing. You came, she whispered when he arrived. Always, he said, voice steady because hers needed it. Sophie explained, because Sophie always explained. Her airways constricted. The doctor says bronchodilators and monitoring. I made a star chart of the beeps. Leo stood sentry, chin up, stuffed dog clenched. We're not sleeping till she sleeps. Jasmine's shoulders sagged when she saw him. There was no past tense in her eyes, no remember when accusation, only the present imperative. Be here. He was. He stood on one side of the bed. She stood on the other. They told the story of a rainy day coffee shop and a clumsy boy who spilled sugar because a girl smiled like sunrise. Maya's breathing synced to the telling. Ragged, then steadier, then steady. At 3 a.m., the doctor delivered relief in the careful vocabulary of medicine. She's responding. Overnight observation. Adjust the daily plan. Adjust everything, Chris said, and meant it. At dawn, he emailed his board. Effective immediately, I'm stepping back from day-to-day operations. Build well without me. I have better blueprints. He expected war. Richard, his father, called first. Son, he began, then stopped as if the word had too many edges. Your mother and I, we confused empire with family. You've corrected the math. I'm proud. The line went quiet except for the noise of a man learning a new kind of bravery. When Maya came home, her room had an air purifier that hummed like gentle weather, a cart for treatments, and a window seat for painting sunrise they hadn't seen yet. The guest house turned into Dad's half and the main house into ours, with a worn path of bare feet between. Dinner sometimes meant pancakes at 6 p.m. and sometimes meant burial at 9. No one kept score. One evening, under a sky rinsed clean after rain, Chris set up a telescope. Find Orion's belt, he told Sophie. 3 in a row. Like us, Leo said, counting siblings. Then after a beat, counting parents too. 5 makes a constellation. Maya lifted her nebulizer mask and drew with one hand, star by careful star. What's this one called? She asked. Chris considered the cluster, 3 bright points and 2 steady lights holding them. The second chance, he said quietly. They celebrated a 6th birthday at the restaurant where the world changed. balloons instead of balance sheets, crayons instead of contracts. Eleanor brought cookies and an apology baked into every bite. Richard wore a scarf the kids knitted. Crooked, perfect. Barbara took pictures of everything like a historian of joy. Chris made a short speech because not making one would have broken him. A year ago, he said, I knew how to price risk, not how to hold a hand. I knew how to close, not how to stay. Then I saw three faces and learned the only market that matters: time. Thank you for letting me invest for real. After cake, he led them to the patio where silk-thin lights unfurled across the dusk. An artist's aurora scripted by a discreet lighting tech. Maya gasped. Sophie reached for facts and for once let wonder win. Leo whispered, higher. Jasmine stood beside Chris, elbow to elbow, two separate houses worth of history narrowing to a shared present. You kept your promise, she said. I'll keep it tomorrow, he answered, and the day after. I'm busy staying. Maya tugged his sleeve. Daddy, can we draw the lights together? Even if it's messy? Especially if it's messy, he said. They drew. The lines weren't straight. The colors bled. It looked exactly like a family learning its shape. And over all of it, the sky, indifferent and immense, did what the sky does for those who finally look up. It made room for their names.